Felix, hi. Big hand of applause to you. Hello, gents. Ooh, I'm gonna take that seat here. We're gonna do a mix round here. So, may I please start with you guys to introduce yourself? I have 3 gents on the sofa. That's great. Felix.
Hi, I'm Felix Stieber, and I'm Business Development Manager for Factory Automation Services.
Business Development Manager. We're gonna talk about that later. Pierre.
I'm Pierre Sugar, and I'm heading this fantastic connectivity team.
I already heard a colleague, you have a large fan base here, by the way, because one guy said, you know that this is the best team what you're going to have on stage. So
Definitely.
Definitely you can be proud. And Ramin.
My name is Ramin Ghanipanah, and I'm also Business Development Manager for Industrial Connectivity Services.
Perfect. So now we know who's who. Let's get into details now. We're going to talk about this coffee machine a little later. Let's get first started with your challenge. Can you explain what is meant by industrial connectivity services in 5 sentences?
Yeah, I mean, 5 sentences might be a little bit of a challenge, but let's give it a try. So with industrial connectivity services, we make it possible to collect and connect every data from, let's say, actuators, sensors, PLCs, but also from IT systems, and forward them to, for example, Industrial Edge, the Siemens cloud infrastructure, but also hyperscalers like AWS or Microsoft Azure, you name it.
True. And it's literally any source, because also the age and the manufacturer of the machines don't matter for us. We offer a holistic approach with state-of-the-art hardware, innovative software, and one hell of a connectivity team behind it.
One hell of a connectivity team. Actually, that triggers something when you say any source, which you meant at the SPS, where you guys were on stage. SPS is a big fair on automation, which is taking place in Nuremberg every year in November. You guys were brave enough to say, when I asked you that you would connect a coffee machine, that you could do it. You boldly said yes, without having any proof. Now let's get into details. In the teaser video, in the beginning, you stated that you could connect a coffee machine. The rumors are you really did. Yes, how far are we?
Of course, and it was a wonderful idea, right? I mean, coffee, amore, it gives us energy. We love coffee, and we love connectivity. So we brought it together, and now we have a connected coffee machine where we can showcase connectivity, and we can have a nice chat. And yeah, it's on the booth 68, so drop by and have a chat and share the love.
Okay, so it's at our booth, to get that right. It's straight across number 68. I'm gonna drop by there to get my coffee in shot, which is definitely needed on a highly exhausting day here. So what is the benefit of a connected coffee machine? Can you explain that?
Yeah.
Who wants to take that?
So a coffee machine, first of all, is just another machine. We're collecting data, we're visualizing data, pre-processing data. And if you go to your coffee machine, what do you expect if you press the button? The coffee flows.
That I don't get the alert, need water, need beans, please clean.
Right. And this is actually the service use case we also provide over there, that you need the information when to refill the water or refill the coffee beans. And that can be easily transformed to an industrial application like a production machine. So what we're doing, so we're not so much interested that the coffee is flowing, we are more interested in how many parts have been produced. And we're also collecting the data, visualizing data, calculating KPIs, like OEE KPIs, production KPIs, and the like.
Absolutely. And this increased performance is only possible when you have this traceability and also transparency. So we talk a lot about these use cases like predictive maintenance and so on, but it's only possible when you have the right data, and also here connectivity is the lever for that.
So how exactly did you manage to connect the machine?
We used the Brownfield Connectivity Gateway. And this Brownfield Connectivity Gateway enables you to establish a connection from anywhere in the shop floor, from any machine, with a higher level information system, like Industrial Edge. And there we visualize the data with the Edge performance inside, and then you go. You have the transparency on all the relevant parameter of a barista, in our case, like pressure, water, and grind. And then you can start optimizing and make the perfect product.
So you say it definitely would also work on the field, like connecting real machines.
Absolutely.
That sounds pretty good. Pierre, any comments on that?
So, yes, of course. So he was talking about brownfield connectivity gateway. But not always necessary to use the brownfield connectivity gateway for each and every use case, even though you could. But I think this is the beauty of industrial connectivity services. We're not bound to a specific product for connectivity. We're rather bound to the connectivity use case of the customer. And just imagine, you're the customer. You want to decide upon a cloud strategy. You want to run all your applications in the cloud. Then we would rather suggest IoT 2050, which is an embedded industrial PC. It also collects data. It also forwards data over a secured internet connection. It can do that encrypted, and it comes with a lot of variety of interfaces for all these different automation devices.
And also, another option would be the industrial edge. For example, if you have semantic IPC 227E, so you can use and utilize that for the whole industrial edge ecosystem. So we can use it. It has all the built-in functionalities and also integrated connectivity. And also works in harsh environments, like, for example, your kitchen.
Definitely.
If you want to integrate it there with the connectivity solutions there. But you have all the benefits. So integrated connectivity, harsh environments, also centrally managed firmware options. So this is everything built in.
That's one more reason to visit our booth, right? I mean, edge connectivity, cloud connectivity, brownfield connectivity. We showcase it all there at booth 68.
So you already mentioned that you can avoid unplanned, really high, costly downtime moments. Are there any further benefits which come along thanks to connectivity?
Definitely. Imagine you want to digitize your existing factory. So you have machines there that run nicely, but maybe they're old and you cannot connect them. So what are your options? Get new machines, retrofit, taking out all the old automation, replacing with state-of-the-art. Quite an effort. But thanks to our solution, you don't need to do that. We can equip your machines with the necessary hardware and software components and make them able to communicate. And by that, you can keep your machines. And that is saving you time, money, and it's sustainable.
And if I may add, so based on the data, again, we can optimize the production and the workflows.
So and there are also further benefits. So we are using our standardized connectivity, ensuring the availability, and everything embedded into a digitalization solution.
All right, you got me in the game now. I have a clear understanding about the benefits and why it's so important, more or less, to really organize this in your production. In regards of our customers, different industries, I suppose, mean different connectivity requirements, different challenges for you. How do you cater this? How do you normally proceed in order to cater for the different industries?
Okay. Normally, and the first thing is always listening to the customer. What are their goals and needs, and what do they really want to do with the data? And when we have really understood the customer requirements, we make a plan, connectivity concept. And this is done by our most important, by our people. We have excellent connectivity experts who know, based on the customer needs, what hardware, what connectors, what software, what services fit best to the customer problems. And they choose whatever fits best. And by that, all our technologies in the company and the ones we bring from our side can contribute into one joint approach, connectivity solutions. So, but the key is, it's not only hardware and software, it's about having the right partner. A partner with a global footprint, a partner with a long-lasting automation experience, and with the right people who can combine that automation know-how, connectivity know-how with out-of-the-box thinking. And who has all of that?
I wonder why. I wonder who.
Well, Siemens does. And that's why we as Siemens are the right partner for connectivity.
Well, it does all look and sound great in theory, but let's get into practice now. What's happening next? What do we do really when you have looked in all your data and in the flows?
Yeah. Then we go into implementation, like after that, what Felix just described. So using our standardized industrial connectors, like brownfield connectivity gateway, for example, and then integrate that. So like grabbing the data from the shop floor, forward them to either higher level IT systems, could be an MES systems, SCADA systems, or whatever is in there. And it's also important that the plant operators, they have the freedom to choose what happens with the data, how it will be processed. So this we will also ensure during this implementation phase.
Mm-hmm. And then?
And then comes connectivity operations. No, this is a topic that's often overlooked because you now have your nicely implemented connectivity implementation. And now imagine, again, you're my customer, you've digitized your important production process. So a digitized process works with software, definitely. Mm-hmm. And what happens if the data is not flowing? The data is not coming to the software. Software was working on data. Software is not working. If the software is not working, the process is not working, and ultimately the production comes to a standstill. And with connectivity operations, we really close this gap because this is often overlooked in other applications or in other offerings for connectivity. We're monitoring the connectivity and the data flow to ensure that the process is working and digitalization definitely finally is working.
Mm-hmm. It does sound good. You have convinced me. I mean, it was a bit more than 5 sentences, or let's say 5 phrases which you guys took in regards of, I know that you guys like challenges. What about going for, instead of 5 sentences, that you guys take 3?
No problem. Okay.
No problem was 1.
No connectivity means no digital transformation.
Christine, only your imagination is the limit.
And finally, we can connect anything with everything.